We all knew this, but COD has been on a steady decline for years. Well, maybe not a steady decline, but more like falling off a cliff every time we think it can't get worse. Loot boxes, battle passes, microtransactions, cartoony skins and bundles, SBMM, and more are destroying this franchise and it's hemorrhaging players as a result. Activision is so obsessed with siphoning as much cash from their loyal fan base as possible that they're completely fine with the fact that the game is a barely functional dumpster fire. I remember how incredible the golden age of this series was, from the intense campaigns with satisfying stories, to the friendships formed on multiplayer.
It's like, hey mom, play with my today. Nobody cares, it's not a feat.
And the absolute stupid fun of the bonus modes. Remember that? When Modern Warfare and Black Ops had their own separate identities and you'd buy Black Ops for Zombies and Modern Warfare for Spec Ops, and the modes were actually worth playing? But you can still play Spec Ops and Zombies on the newer titles. Yeah, and they suck, so what's your point? This pretty much goes for the newer iterations of this franchise. Everything is so soulless and is just blatantly tacked on for profit. Like, who asked for Modern Warfare Zombies? That is an actual question. Who actually wakes up in the morning and looks forward to playing Modern Warfare Zombies? This looks so miserable and I can't think of a reason why people would play it. The passion and the soul behind these games are completely gone, and in their place we have... What's so funny to me is that if Activision would fix just one of these glaring issues, they'd have an influx of players returning. I don't know why they're so adamant on letting this franchise die a slow, painful death when inevitably everyone abandons Warzone and they're forced to pull the plug on the servers. I mean, remember last year when the Activision executives said that COD was too big to fail? And then that very same year, Black Ops 7 had the worst sales in the history of the franchise? They were so embarrassed that Treyarch literally had to write a blog post with their tail tucked between their legs and apologize for how bad the game was. Then they even said that they'll no longer be releasing Modern Warfare or Black Ops titles back to back, which is hilarious. These Activision execs were so egotistical and confident in their ability to throw absolute garbage in their fans' faces, and they were inevitably hit with the ultimate karmic backhand. And they deserve it. They're willing to put Warzone mechanics into everything and let the quality of these games go downhill so they can attract the biggest audience possible. And that's the main issue right there. This godforsaken game killed everything. If you're wondering why you have to use armor plates and zombies and self-revive kits in the campaign, you can thank Warzone. When Activision realized the massive potential of a free-to-play live service model, they just threw everything else out the window to prioritize putting Warzone in everything to cash in on the Battle Royale trend. Remember when we were given actual quality campaigns that had grit and didn't shy away from the horrors of humanity, games that weren't afraid to show just how scary the world could be? Remember being younger and playing these campaigns and being absolutely terrified that people could do something like this? Modern Warfare 2 literally showed the main antagonist slaughtering a bunch of innocent people in an airport to show you how evil Makarov was. We were also given a bunch of characters that were given actual depth. Remember fighting alongside Price, Ghost, Woods, Mason? These guys had motivation, they felt, they lost, they suffered, and you suffered with them. They showed the ugliest parts of human conflict. And the antagonists weren't just villains of the week. Shepard's betrayal was the ultimate plot twist, but it actually aligned with his character. He wanted to be seen as a hero so badly he was willing to betray his allies. Menendez wasn't just an evil drug lord, he was resentful because of the loss of his sister Josefina. His vengeance led him to kidnap a young David Mason, put him in a grimy basement, and show him his dead father. Now that is a different level of hatred. I really do want to know what these new writers and devs at these studios were thinking when they made these deplorable campaigns. I thought we reached rock bottom in BO3, but I couldn't be more wrong. Can you tell me why we're in the year 2026 of the Gregorian calendar and we don't have functions we had 10 years ago, like friendly AI or a save button or, I don't know, the ability to pause? And the characters.
50. Your blood pressure's up. Take a breath.
Got an itch on my left ass cheek too, you feel that?
Yo, what say we wrap this shit up real quick today, okay? I need to hit the beach and work on my tan. You mind?
I need to get in and back out. Could go upside down quickly.
I specialize in upside down. Do we understand the plan?
I shoot Nazis.
They die.
That's not.
As of the time of this video, Modern Warfare 4 has been announced, and I can already tell it's just... I've seen the multiplayer gameplay as well, and the fact people are losing their minds over it and dropping 10-minute analysis videos over a 2-minute clip shows just how the last remaining fans of this game are desperate to prove there's something special in whatever's left of this franchise. Can someone tell me what's new about this? I'm supposed to throw my money at Activision because I can... mantle slightly faster? What happened to the old movement system from COD 4 to BO2? It made sense. You were a heavy soldier being weighed down by tactical gear, so your speed and stamina were limited, but that didn't take away from the fun and replayability of the game. Movement wasn't everything. It was also about positioning, aim, map knowledge, and more. Why do I have to move around like I just snorted crack and washed it down with 3 cans of Red Bull just to keep up in these newer games? It all started with MW 2019, the supposed return to form, which allowed players to absolutely abuse the movement system with YY slide canceling nonsense. But to be fair, this all started when dolphin diving was removed in Ghosts, and then we got jetpacks and exosuits, so I just want to know why we can't have the old movement system back. I guess no one has the patience to run around at a slower pace anymore. I don't think the movement system is talked about enough when it comes to discussing why this franchise got worse. Not all of us want to be flying around the map at Mach 10 just to keep up. Not all of us are 14-year-olds who spend all day playing video games. Some of us have jobs, some of us have lives, and all we want to do is come home after a long day and just enjoy ourselves. And the funniest part is that people who defend SBMM rely on the same tired, brain-dead argument that we just want to play against worse players. They think they're defending the older, tired audience as if they've never picked up a controller before. Like, hey, did you know that you can be above average at this game to the point where you can be punished by the system? Back when COD used to rely on ping to put players together in a lobby, the gameplay was much more diverse. Some games you'd go 20-0 and others you'd go 0-20, but that was the fun of it. Some games you would ruin the enemy team's day with a barrage of score streaks. In other games you would get completely humbled by a max prestige kid with a DSR. The map design completely fell off as well. Remember fun creative maps like Raid, High Rise, Standoff, Terminal, Nuketown, and more? Well, I hope you don't, because you're gonna cry when you realize how far map design quality has fallen from those maps to Border Crossing and Piccadilly. Nowadays it feels like there's no in-between in modern map design. They're either so incredibly small or so big you can fit the population of a small country in it. Not to mention that these maps literally encourage newer players to camp, so no more 3-lane map design. Who is greenlighting these maps? Moving on from the atrocious map design, who remembers the Pick-10 system? In my opinion, this was the best loadout system in the entire franchise. It was such a brilliant way to allow people to either choose the most optimal attachments and perks for toxic gameplay, or when you just wanted to goof off with your friends. What do we have now? The Gunsmith. This caused a bunch of hyperactive 12-year-old scump wannabes to rush to their weapons attachments and get rid of the ones that didn't help them maintain a 3.0 KD. It's like the devs and the publishers are so desperate to ignore the player base and keep lowering this game lower and lower into its grave. We constantly ask for change, openly criticize the things we hated in this game, only to be met with "you hate change and you're just nostalgic." It's the equivalent of trying to reason with a petulant little kid who just puts their fingers in their ears and chants "I can't hear you" over and over. It's things like this that are causing a mass exodus in players because nobody is listening. Personally, I haven't bought a COD game in years and I only play the older ones to play zombies, so you can exclude me from the notorious COD cycle. I really don't know how Call of Duty fell from the title of being the king of FPS games to a pathetic trend chaser. The only people that still care about this game, as I said before, are people who only care about Warzone or think that this franchise is still what it used to be. The current state of this series suffers from a plethora of issues deeper than nostalgia bait and American Dad skins. It's really telling when people are barely able to play the older games, hell, even the new games due to cheaters and hackers, and Activision hasn't lifted a finger to fix these problems because people would still buy the game anyways. Oh, but it's really funny when people were dropping COD like a bad habit in favor of Battlefield 6 and suddenly, oh no, no more SBMM and no more goofy skins. I know that Battlefield 6 isn't doing well because of its own set of issues, but you get my point. Activision will only listen if enough people stop throwing money at them yearly, but we all know that's never gonna happen. Call of Duty is still the best-selling title of all time, so... But to be honest, the developers and the publishers aren't the only ones to blame. It's kind of your fault too. Well, maybe not all of you, but a good number. All these guys have to do is bring back an old weapon or an old character or an old map, and suddenly $70 just magically disappears from your wallet. Guys, come on, you're reacting the way they want you to. They know it's working, that's why they keep doing it. What you guys need to realize is that it doesn't matter if Captain Price or Richtofen come back or if you get to play on Raid again. It won't magically make you forget about the game's flaws. I could go on and on about the loss of identity in this series and how it went from a serious military shooter to a goofy Fortnite clone, but that's been talked about to death. But that doesn't make it any less true. If you told me I would have been able to play as 21 Savage or Starlight from The Boys, I would not believe you. If you told me Beavis and Butthead were in this game, I would not believe you. If you told me I would have to boot up a buggy, laggy, 150GB launcher to play one game only to have to restart it like 3 times to update it, I would not believe you. Who thought COD HQ was a good idea? Hey, do you guys just not want me to play this game? Why the hell do I have to save so much space on my device and navigate this horrendous, ugly UI that looks like a corporate spreadsheet? Did the behavioral analysts tell you that people are 50% more likely to spend money on a $30 bundle if they have a giant ad in their face? Why can't I just boot up the game and pick which mode I want to play like the old days? Why did you have to make this process 10 times more difficult? It really is sad to see how low Activision is willing to go in order to make money. For a time, year after year, we were surprised and entranced by every entry and the sheer innovation of every title that still somehow managed to stay true to its form. But now they're willing to betray the tone, the story, and the feel of their once respected franchise just to make a few more dollars. It's depressing to see the state of this game compared to what it once was. It's funny whenever a new game comes out and people say how it's gonna be a COD killer, but that game ends up dying within like less than a year. The only real COD killer will be COD itself. Activision will keep pushing these microtransactions and keep breaking their game until they push enough of their players away. When that happens, they'll either bring out heavy hitters like a remastered collection of their older games, but when even that's not enough, they'll just eventually sunset this franchise.